Hi there, my name is Nick Dutch, and for those of you who are already subscribed to this channel, you already know that I work as a professional tarot reader, which is an entertainment service, and essentially nothing less, but there's also a therapeutic dimension to it. Now, my history of being involved with the New Age movement, the occult movement, was that I had certain experiences. I wanted to find out more. I wanted to try and reproduce certain experiences in a reliable way. And so I approached the supernatural phenomena from a scientific standpoint because I wanted to understand as much as I could. I'd heard about this school of thought which was called magic, which was allegedly a means of controlling either the rest of the world or certain supernatural phenomena in a way which was both artistic and scientific. That thought, of course, stimulated my interest. But when I was involved with these various New Age groups, and I told them I wished to test and evaluate what was real or what seemed to happen in a more scientific manner, I was given a very frosty reception, and it was even suggested by some individuals that I was actually being evil for wanting to experiment, find out more, control these phenomena. That actually hurt me quite a lot. But still my search went on. And I'm still, I suppose, searching, which is one of the reasons why I'm publishing all of these blogs here on YouTube. I'm just checking the time there, okay? So what I'd like to do today during this short series of videos is to go into the subject of scientific methodology, which is important. So I've gone to Wikipedia and I've gone to an article which is on scientific method. And I've copied and pasted certain important sections into a open office document, which I'm going to read through, and I'm going to make some comments as I go along. Primarily because I'd like you to see what I'm trying to do is to move outside of pseudoscience. My understanding of pseudoscience is that it is based upon beliefs and faulty reasoning. That's why I actually like to act against belief, as I'm going through the process of trying to find out what is most likely to be true under some circumstances. This particular article that I've taken some excerpts from focuses on the natural science method, not the psychological or social science methods. I may do another series of videos relating to social and psychological science, so we can then take the information from here and we can take the information from social and psychological sciences and try and create a cohesive model of ideas that we can then use for further experimentation. I don't like to be labeled as a pseudoscientist because I don't think that my attitude is pseudoscientist. Okay, from the top. Scientific method refers to bodies of techniques for investigating phenomena, acquiring new knowledge, or correcting and integrating previous knowledge. So that statement by itself does not exclude any schools of thought, any variety of phenomena. The word here is phenomena, okay? So that could be biochemical, that could be psychological, that could be social, that could even be what we loosely term psi phenomena. To be termed scientific, a method of inquiry must be based upon a gathering observable, empirical, and measurable evidence subject to specific principles of reasoning. Okay, now with that particular sentence, it's talking about observable things. Now, observability can happen in a lot of different ways. There's obviously things which have indicators of measurement. There's also, I suppose, if we think about psychology and sociology, there's thoughts and feelings maybe even writing things down on a 5-point Likert scale and then correlating the information and analyzing it statistically. So it doesn't just relate to physical things and chemical reactions. It can relate to a wide variety of other phenomena, as the article says. Now, empirical essentially is referring to, the way in which you're doing your studying. An empirical analysis isn't the only way of doing things. Within social sciences, we have participant observation, for example, which wouldn't necessarily be seen as being empirical or positivistic. It would be considered to be anti-positivistic or not necessarily empirical, but could still provide usable information which can then be interpreted. So, again, of course, this particular article focuses on the natural sciences. It doesn't focus on social and psychological sciences, but we could still use the idea of empiricism when we're analyzing people's responses to various different phenomena, provided, of course, we've cut out any confounding variables such as priming and so on and so forth. So there's still ways of looking at supernatural phenomenon, as it's called, in a way which could be regarded as scientific. We can already see that potential. Now, the last part of this sentence says, subject to specific principles of reasoning. I feel that that could be open to misinterpretation, because some people would say that something is only within reasoning if it is of the already existing natural sciences, but essentially science is about increasing knowledge. It's not about stating that there is a fixed body of knowledge, and that's essentially all that there is in reality. So we'll have to be able to apply reasoning and objective analysis to the models of reasoning that we have created to be able to see whether the models of, or principles of reasoning that we're using are actually usable in this particular manner. So we could go into great detail at that point in a very intellectual and analytical manner to try and work out what we mean by reasoning. And it's important to do that. We can't just come out with a simple a very simple logical fallacy against that. It wouldn't be right. We've got to work out what we mean by reasoning and what we mean by reasoning. A scientific method consists of the collection of data through observation and experimentation, and the formulation and testing of hypotheses. So that doesn't mean to say that we can exclude the observation of what happens in our own minds as far as emotions, thoughts and feelings are concerned, if that is the natural world, so to speak, that we're actually experimenting with. But we'll also have to have some objectivity to what we've experienced, so that we don't jump to the conclusions that something which is caused by, a cheese dream or something else that's biological and not coming from a source that we believe it's coming from. So, we've got to cut out things which are, that we can prove are from a different source or origin. Okay. The essay continues. There's lots of it. Back in a minute.